Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes and
Moose Mike.
So welcome back to all our returners and hi to any newbies. It is so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while, and if you like what you see, give us a thumbie. They are free. So you will be seeing this on Friday, and every Friday here at Manfa's Makes, Mike and I come on camera and show you all the crocheting we have managed to do in the past week. But we basically give you a roundup of any progress made on any amount of projects. It's just how the cookie crumbles here on a Friday. So I have 3 FOs and a whip. 2 FOs you are familiar with, 1 you are not. So let's go for it, shall we? Now the first one is I have bordered my crochet along blanket from the lovely Litza over at Coco's Crochet. She hosted a crochet along this year using this calendar. If you are not familiar with Litza, she will be down in the description box. Go check her out. She lives all the way in Sydney. Yes, she does. She has a gorgeous Pomeranian called Coco who has not been very well recently but seems to be turning a corner, which is fabulous.
Happy days.
Litza, once again, thank you so much for a super duper lovely and enjoyable crochet along, and we eagerly hope with bated breath and fingers crossed that you will do it again next year, because Mike genuinely wants another calendar and hopefully he'll join in. And also it has been one of those projects that I have picked up every couple of weeks and just had a session of crochet, which as busy crafters, those projects really do help a lot to get through the other intensive ones. So, Spectacular Sydney 2023. I have no picture to show this week, guys, because it was just the border. We have done all 12 months of this calendar in 6 months, and the last instalment is putting the border on and finishing it up and wrapping it up in a pretty little bow, which I have done, and I told you guys that I would be doing it in purple to pay homage to Litza, as her favourite colour is purple, and after all this was her idea and I just needed to have a finishing touch of Litza in my finished item. Now I was going to say something and it's popped out of my head as quickly as it popped in. There we go, it's back. So Litza designed a stitch sampler throw that we were going to do all together. Now some of us did do the stitch sampler, some of us did our own project, but they took the colours that Litza picked from these calendar pictures plus her wild card and went off and did their own thing, or they did the stitch sampler. Now I did do the stitch sampler, and it was meant as a scrappy project to use up any scraps that you may have, and it was also Litza's idea to make something for ourselves, because very often as crafters we make things for others 99% of the time. Now this isn't for me, but it is staying with me in my home, because this is actually for Rolo, who is our little border terrier cross Lakeland Terrier dog, who suffers with epilepsy, and the medication that he's on, especially in the winter, means that he cannot regulate his temperature. So this will be an added layer of warmth for those chilly nights to come later in the year. So I will give you one final look of this wonderful project. So I will start this end. So the blue, the yellow, the white and the purple was January, and then the green, grey, brown and orange was February. March was my favourite because not only is it my birthday month, Litza chose sparkle yarns and there was pink in there. So, you know, that made Manfa very happy. So there's blue, tan, green and pink, and they are all sparkles. And these are all different stitches because it was the stitch sampler. So I believe we were at half doubles, V stitches, either doubles or half doubles, I can't quite remember. And then the blue, the black, the white and the red was like the window row and a half double crochet row, I believe. Watch Litza's videos, she explains it much better than me. And then we carried on with the same stitch, but we did, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, the green, the purple, the yellow and the brown. I've forgotten what months we're in now. March, April, so that's May, June, is the grey, the green, the orange and the blue, and that was puff stitches. Manfa's not a fan, but Litza loves them, and it was Litza's choice, and it's Litza's project, so Manfa did them like a good girl. No, hang on, I've got this wrong somewhere. So that's this, the grey, the green, the orange, yes, because the wild card colour was pumpkin, but I only had one shade of orange, so I put it in twice. And that was June. And then July is the blue, the green, the red, the yellow. And then August we moved in to, I can't remember the name of the stitch, but red, purple, grey and rainbow. You can only see a few of the colours. On the other side there are other colours in that rainbow section, and I'm not going to be able to show you. Trust me, there's all the colours of the rainbow in that. And then September was brown, pink, green and white, and I think that was just straight doubles. And then October was grey, blue, yellow and tan, beige, sandy colour I think it was meant to be. And that was the double crochet crisscross and half doubles on top, I believe. And then November was 1, 2, 3, 4, the blue, the orange, the green and the red, first row of red, using the same stitch. And then December was red again, white, yellow and purple, and that was the what she called the lemon peel stitch, I believe. And then I did my purple border, and all I did was a row of half doubles, and then I went all the way around with a row of double crochet crisscross, because that is one of Litza's favourite stitches as well. So not only is it's Litza's favourite colour, it's one of her favourite stitches, and it just borders it off nicely, as you can see along the side. It gives it a nice edge, finishes it off, and there is a bit of texture in there as well. So yes, lots of different stitches, lots of different bright pretty colours, and a really enjoyable project. Now I am sad to see it go, but I am also happy to get it off my hook so I can get some other wonderful crochet items on the go and started, because now I can start some new whips, guys, because I've got some FOs. So Litza, again, thank you so much. Please bring it back next year. Thank you for your wonderful colour selections, your wonderful inspiration, and for gifting it to us in Happy Mail all the way from Australia, which was just like, what? And your tutorials on some of the stitches that I may not have been familiar with or needed refreshing on. They were super duper helpful. You worked incredibly hard and you did an absolutely smashing job, and I am so pleased to have been a supporter and cheerleader on your cow.
Well, happy days.
So there is that one. I will link Litza's playlist for the whole crochet along, because even if you can't get to it, say, until a couple of years time, it's always going to be there. And if you are looking for a really lovely project just to, because she does all the work for you, you just got to make it, then bear it in mind. So I will link Litza and her playlist down below. Go show them some love. And if you ever get around to doing it, I highly recommend. Right, next, another FO, another blanket, and yeah, it's for Rolo again. So then he can be using one, and one could be waiting in the wings, and then the one he's using can go in the wash, and this one can come into play, and we can keep rotating. Because you know what dogs are like, especially in the winter when it's raining, they get wet, and then they get like
muddy,
like
stinky,
wet, smelly dog smell, and I don't want wet, smelly dog blankets hanging around, so they will be washed fairly frequently. So, luck of the draw 7. This is it. Done and dusted. Luck of the draw 7 is the brainchild of Nancy from Nan's Next Knots. I will link her down in the description. Go check her out. We are all keeping our fingers crossed that she will do a luck of the draw 8, but she has neither confirmed nor denied that this will happen. So we are still in limbo, guys. We have just got to keep asking and see if she can be persuaded to do it. Now you pick a main colour. You then pick 8 other colours. You assign what number those 8 are going to have. You go over to Nan on a Thursday, watch her video. She'll pick a random number out of her lucky green hat. She'll show you the number. Whatever yarn you've attributed to that number is the yarn you put in your project, and so it goes on for 20 weeks. Main colour, Nan's pick, main colour, Nan's pick. And it doesn't have to be a blanket. No, no, no. We have had bags, wraps, ruanas, curtains, amigurumis, you name it. People have been able to use this concept in many, many, many different ways. An idea that a fellow YouTuber came up with is that it wasn't going to be specific yarns. It was just going to be the colour. So if one was drawn, for example, and she picked red, it could be any red in her stash of any shade, any weight, any type, anything she fancied. And I really like that because then, again, you don't have to go and buy specific yarn because it was initially started as a stash buster anyway. You can vary it up. If the number one red comes 3 or 4 times and you've used a different shade, there's still lots of interest in your project because you're using various different shades. So I really like that idea. Many shades of one colour group. So that might be the way forward if there is a Luck of the Draw 8 for Manfa. Another interesting concept that I came across is people have been attributing other things to the numbers. So they're not actually building a project. They have just attributed things to the numbers that Nan picks. So say they've already got 8 whips in bags. Whip 1 is the drawstring bag I'm making. Whip 2 is the scarf I'm making. Whip 3 is the pillow cover I'm making. And if Nan picked number 3, then they work on that pillow cover for the week. That way, all of the whips are getting love and attention, but Nan's picking which one you're working on. And you never know, you could get some FOs along the way because you're using your old whips. Quite like that idea as well. But anyway, let's get back to mine.
That wouldn't work for me because I only have 2.
But then you could start 8 in preparation. Maybe not. Okay, so I actually need to work out where I am because I folded it in a very bizarre way last night because that's Manfa for you. This one. This is my last colour and my last main and my border. There we go. So my last colour, my last main and my border. So if you didn't know, if you haven't been watching for the last 20 weeks, I picked Mushroom Stylecraft Special DK for my main colour. I then picked 8 random self-striping or variegated yards that I only had 1 skein of each in my stash and knew I wasn't going to use them for anything else, and chucked them all together in this one project and called it My Ugly Experiment. Well, My Ugly Experiment is done, guys. It's another FO to tick off. And to pick the border colour, I literally put my hand in the bag and grabbed, and I thought, right, that'll do. And I just did 2 rounds of double crochet. Literally it. The main body of my blanket, each colour, whether it was the main or the one that Nan picked, I did 4 rows. I did a row of half double, a row of half double in the 3rd loop, row of half double, row of half double in the 3rd loop, which gives this beautiful texture on the front, which some of them look like knit stitches, but they're not, guys. It is all crochet. And then, like I said, I just picked a random skein that I had already put into the blanket, blind picked, and it's got greens and blues and a little bit of white, and I literally just went around the whole thing and did 2 rows of double crochets. And I also put up a short because I won Yarn Chicken by like this much, and I was very proud of that fact. So if you haven't seen that short, go check it out. Don't forget, anyone you watch, the way YouTube have set up our pages now, you've got a separate section for videos, separate section for shorts, separate section for lives, and then a separate section for playlists. And they have recently added another section for podcasts. I haven't got anything in the podcasts because I don't really do that. But if I do, I've got the option there. But do check out those different segments of all the people you love to watch, because you may discover content you didn't even know they put out. Has happened to me a lot. So, thank you, Nan. Luck of the Draw 7, done and dusted and in the bag. Whoop, whoop. So that's 2 of my FOs. Do we want to break it up and bring you in now, and I come back and do my other 2 in a minute? Let's switch it up. Do it.
Okay, well, it's my
There you
turn now. I'll get to speak.
Yeah. Give me a rest
So,
minute.
I've got 2 whips.
Yes.
Not to show today because one of them I haven't touched for weeks.
One of them is not an active whip at the moment.
No, but it will be as soon as this one's finished because this one is so close.
We were so convinced he was going to finish it this week, and if it hadn't,
so long.
and if it hadn't have been for a couple of life things this week,
Yeah,
getting in the way, it would have been done. So it's not Mike's fault, guys.
So this is all I've got left of the yarn.
Oh yeah.
It's Sultan Deluxe Shine Sparkle. So we're getting into the really dark blues, which I cannot wait to do because that means I'm closer to the finish line.
Yeah.
But this pattern was created by Obsessive Crochet Lady, Amanda.
That's Obsessive Crochet Lady, Amanda.
Sorry, I'm really tired.
He's really tired, but he always struggles with that word. Obsessive.
Obsessive Crochet Lady.
Even crochet. Yeah.
That's what I said.
You said crochet.
Oh, did I?
That lady, one of my bestest friends. She's amazing.
The pattern is amazing. Beginner friendly, super affordable, $4.50. Got it right this time.
You did.
We'll link the email in the bottom.
No, I can't.
We'll type the email in the description box
of where you can get
the pattern.
Yeah.
Give her an email.
But go to her channel as well and give us some love. Run some of her past videos, guys, because she's just started a new job. She isn't able to get up content right now while life is so busy. She will pop on and do a live whenever she can. There are more lives than content, but she has got content there. And in her absence, while she's sorting a routine out, please go and watch some of her older videos and give us some watch hours and some love and attention, please.
And like you saw with the Luck of the Draw, this kind of does the same thing, just not as prominent. But here is my shawl, lacy edge and all. I'm about halfway through that row because it took me all night just to do that half. So close to the half. I'm not even there, but so close.
Are you showing them the back?
No.
Are you sure you are showing them the back?
How do you know?
I know.
Oh. Okay.
Because your tails are showing on the back.
Yeah, but some of them are where I've turned.
No, you were definitely showing on the back.
Well, look how big it is now, guys.
I'm off screen.
Yeah. And we could go this way and show the other side. It's huge.
It's gonna be so
and
lovely.
It's so drapey, and the frilly edge is curling like it should.
Lacy edge, yeah.
Lacy edge, and it goes from this lovely lavender down to dark blue.
Right to like midnight starry sky.
Yeah, and then when I finally get there, because it is still transitioning, it's going from this blue to dark blue. It will be totally dark, and I'm going to go until it stops.
So, technically you only need 6 rows of lacy edge, but Mike's going to keep putting them ruffles on until that yarn's gone.
Probably will only get 6 looking at it.
We don't know.
I don't know. I'm on halfway through the 5th.
He'll come back next week and let you know how many rows of ruffle he managed to get on in the end. So we'll do that. Have you ever wondered how many rows of lacy edge Mike can put on his Feelin' Fancy shawl? Because that's the name of the shawl, guys. We always forget to tell you the name of the shawl. It's the Feelin' Fancy
shawl, yeah. And I can't tell you where I started from because I didn't move the stitch marker.
No. But you've done about 2 rows?
I've done about
2.5?
No, about 3.
3?
Yeah, I think I was there. But yeah, 3 rows, well, 2.5. We'll go with 2.5 just to make sure.
I love it. 2.5.
2.5.
2.5. 2.5.
I'm not posh.
No, he calls me the posh one.
But it's clearly going to cover
the
whoever
person
wears
intending. Yeah, definitely. If Mike can wear it and be fully covered, then the recipient is well covered, because Mike is 6'2" and he's not
built.
He's not a skinny Jim.
No.
So, but he's not a fatty either. You know,
I'm built.
He's got a lovely dad bod, and we'll leave it at that.
I've got
leave his body out of it, shall we?
I've got a dad belly, but I've got broad shoulders.
Anyway, enough of Mike's body. You're here for the crochet. Right, back to me. So yeah, hopefully that'll be finished next week, and the heel and coo will come back into play. Whether it will make an appearance next week or the week after, who knows? Tune back in next Friday to find out.
Probably.
So, I picked up the wrong bag out of habit. this is the bag I need. So I hinted last week that I was working on a secret amigurumi because I was testing the pattern for someone, and I couldn't show it because they hadn't released the pattern yet. Well, let me reveal. Because the person who created the pattern has already revealed, but I did a boo-boo. I haven't got my phone, which tells me how much the pattern's now going to be available to you guys. Oh, fiddlesticks.
Where's your phone?
I don't know. It's either on the sofa or in my handbag.
I'll be right back, guys.
Right, so the person who designed this pattern is our beautiful Alyssa over at Anaya's Toy Box. Now, she is well known on the YouTube streets for creating her own amigurumi patterns. And she emailed me a few weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago, and said, please, would you mind testing my newest designs? And I said I would be completely honoured to. So she sent me over the draft patterns, and she said both would be great, but at least one if you can. Now, I only managed to do one, so I'm only going to show the pattern that I tested. If you want to see the other pattern that she's released, because she's released 2 of them, then you need to head over to her channel, so I'll pop her link down in the description box. Go and check it out. She shows you both of the dolls, and she shows you where you can go and get them. Now, I will link this pattern that I made down in the description box as well. It will be available on Ravelry, I believe, but it is a paid for pattern, or because it's part of a pattern collection, a bundle, you could just get the bundle and have all of the versions of this collection as well. But you'll have to have a look around on Alyssa's Ravelry. So this is the cutie patootie she asked me to test. Are you ready? Ta-da! It's the Blueberry doll. Now, hers is so gorgeous. I wish I had some of those kawaii eyes, but I don't have any of those kawaii eyes. And as you know, I am trying to use up some of my I know I've done a few yarn hauls, but I'm trying to use up some of my stash. Now, all the projects today are stash for me and Mike, actually. So this whole episode is #ShopMyStash2023. We're back on the wagon. But I thought I have a massive, there it is right there, massive tote of cotton yarns filled with full skeins, part skeins, scraps, you name it. It is bursting at the seams because I don't tend to use a lot of cotton, and Mike isn't a big fan of cotton. He's had limited experience, but I think he prefers the acrylics. Anyway, I wanted to use up some of my cotton scraps, and when I was actually looking, I don't actually have a lot of the colours for this pattern. So when I show you mine, please bear in mind that in an ideal world, I would have had a nice dark blue for the blueberry. I would have had a nice dark green for the, you know, the top of the berry and the leaves. I would have had a really lovely skin tone. But I had to make do with what I had to get this pattern tested for Alyssa so that she could get it released. So are you ready to meet my blueberry doll? And I believe she says that this is part of the Chubby Baby bundle. I'll get my emails out in a minute and I'll double check. But are you ready for mine? Are you ready? Here he is. Now, I was supposed to use brown for his little feetsies, like he was wearing shoes, but I couldn't find a really nice brown. Well, actually, these, like I said, these are not the colours in an ideal world that I would choose. But the only brown I had was more of like a swampy, greeny, grey, and it was just not going to work for me. It was just a flat out no. In fact, I might even have it in this project bag. Yeah. If you like this colour, great, but for me, it's not the earthy brown that I was looking for. This is more murky, meh. And I'm not a brown fan anyway. Black. But I'm not a brown fan anyway. So, yeah. And I played yarn chicken with this dude as well. Do you want to see how much of the blue I had left? Because bearing in mind I did use a scrap to begin with. And do you remember I was working on it and I looked at him panicking going, I don't have any other blue. This is the only blue that I have, believe it or not. And I don't think I'm going to be able to make the whole blueberry belly of the doll. And I need to because Alyssa wants me to test the pattern. This is literally all I had left. So close. So very, very close. This is all I have left of the green, which is itty bitty and hardly anything to write home about. I do have a little bit bigger of a leftover of the skin tone because you don't use as much of the skin tone as you do the other colours. But that blue was touch and go. Like, I'm sorry to be crude, but squeaky bum time. Anyway, so yes, here is my little blueberry doll. And I really wanted to use some of the new sparkly eyes that we got from Temu. Now, the backs that came with these, I, in my limited knowledge, thought they're never going to work. Never going to work. And after I'd already put these eyes on, I was watching somebody else, and I can't even remember who I was watching. Actually, I do. It was Crystal at Chronically Crocheting. And she said the backs that come with these eyes help push the eye actually into the amigurumi. They don't make the dent that my fingers make in there, so they look more realistic rather than having this bulbous surface eye. But you need one of the pusher-oners, you know, the wooden ball with the little metal spout that you push them on. And I don't have one of them. So what I had to do is I had to give up with the backs that came with these and use some of the washer type backs that come with other safety eyes of mine, which only just fit because these eyeballs are the biggest eyeballs I have in my collection at the moment. It was a struggle, but I got them on. And I just think the little sparkly touch really does make them cute. And these are actually bigger than what Alyssa suggested to use. But again, I just thought it gave an even extra cute, adorable touch to him. And it was after I had sent her my photos that I looked really closely at his little mush. And he does have a smile. I didn't see that till I sent my photos. So mine doesn't have a smile. But I still think he looks cute. And I might add a smile, I might not. I haven't quite decided. But yeah, the green should be darker. The blue should be darker. He should have little brown boots on. But I was able to get all of the components made and sewn together and photographed within the deadline that Alyssa gave me, send her my photos, and she was able to release the pattern on the date that she wanted to. And then I emailed her saying, can I now show it on my channel? She said, yes, of course, because she's already released the pattern. So she sent me the Ravelry link. Bear with. I looked up the wrong email address. Just so that I can tell you how much it is, guys. Is it this one? Yes. So it is on Ravelry and it is part of the Chubby Baby Set. So to buy the pattern for the blueberry doll separately, he is $5.50, or you can buy the collection of the Chubby Babies and that is for $12.50, and that's US dollars, guys, because Alyssa is in the US. So you have the option to buy them individually, or you have the option to buy as a bundle, and I will put both of those links down in my description box should you be interested in purchasing them. But Alyssa, again, thank you so much for reaching out and asking me to test. I felt really honoured that you chose me, actually, and I know you asked a few others as well. But for somebody to approach me, having confidence in my amigurumi skills, asking me to make it and showcase it, it's really lovely of you. Thank you. And I'm so proud that I could do it for you. And I'm so proud that I got it done in time, even if I did change up the colours a little bit and give him big old eyeballs. But I worked with what I had, guys. Hashtag shop my stash. Both for these bits and materials. So there you have it, the secret amigurumi. I told you I was working on something, but I couldn't show you yet. Well, now I can, and I have. So I have no end goal for him. So he might appear either in the background, or my little Max might steal him. You never know. Max is always a fan of my amigurumis. Now, if you just bear with me a sec. I just needed to check that that wasn't one of the children trying to get hold of me, and it's not. So we're going to continue, and I'll deal with that in a minute. The last pattern is a whip. So they were all FOs. 3 FOs in 1 week ain't bad. And considering yesterday I was moaning I didn't really have a lot of crochet time, I clearly used my crochet time wisely.
Yep.
And I'm a little bit happy with myself about that, I'm not going to lie. So this whip is the Beautiful Friend Shawl by OM Granny Square herself from here on YouTube. It is a crochet triangular lace shawl. And she says there, very easy crochet pattern, and I can 100% verify that. That is very much correct. Now, I will link Ursula, OM Granny Square, down in my description box. And I will link where you can get the pattern. It is a paid for pattern, but worth every penny. And I am making this for a friend as a hug. But also because the beautiful Erin didn't forget you this week, sweetheart. The beautiful Erin at Crafting Kitty every month picks a different designer to highlight on her channel to showcase. And it is called Crafting Kitty Creator Spotlight 2023. And this is for the month of June. Now, I have already submitted 2 entries. They were past makes from last year, because you can submit patterns you have made before the month of June. So I entered the Count My Blessings shawl and the Easy Breezy Mandala from Ursula. And I will hopefully be submitting this one, because hopefully I'll get it done. But you don't actually have to get it completed for it to count either, as long as there's enough progress on it for Erin to see that you are actually making it. And it's not just like a chain of 5 stitches like, see, I started it. That's not cool, guys. I don't think anyone's ever tried it. But let's not. So yes, I am currently on row 45, or I'll be beginning row 45 when I next pick it up. I am making it out of, where's my yarn band? Bear with. Here he is. He snapped, of course. Oh, and he snapped right on the bit I need to show. That's brilliant. A Hobie Twister. Which is 85% cotton and no, it's not 85, that's a big old lie. 55% cotton and 45% acrylic, because that adds up to 100, which is the maths you need, Manfa. And there are 1,093 yards in this cake. It's a 2 fine weight and it's the colour 39. I'm not going to go into any more specs than that. It is still available from Hobie. So if you like what you see, you can go and check it out. This is how much I've got left. So I have a very, you know, collapsed cake here, and I can see through it, but you can't see me. So I still have plenty of yarn, because it's obviously getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now make sure I'm showing you the right way. You ready? Oh, hang on, let me put me on Mike's side, otherwise all you're going to see is working tail. Here we go. Dun, da, da, da. And where that red stitch marker is, guys, is where I was last time. So I believe I got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows this week, which isn't too shabby, because obviously the rows take longer the bigger it's going to get. And it started off at this beautiful powder baby blue, and it is slowly transitioning into the darker blues. And when it is done, it will go to that lovely denim, which will be beautiful. So we've both got blue shawls on our hooks, babe. But yes, absolutely love it. Now, OM Granny Square is obviously massive fan of Granny Square and Granny Clusters, because it's in her name. So as you can see, there are granny clusters in this, and I've just gotten into, curling. Just got into this puff section here. Again, puffs. Not a fan, but I love the person I'm making this for, so I'm prepared to do it. And every section of this shawl is amazing, so I will let the puffs go. And I will do them for my friend because I love them. So yeah, I absolutely love it. And I had a question saying, am I going to be doing the border that OM Granny Square does? I reckon so. I don't see why not. I don't really know why I was asked that question. But I think I'm going to follow the pattern to the T and do Ursula's border. Because I'm rubbish at coming up with my own borders. So I'm going to do what Ursula tells me to do. So that's my progress. Another 7 rows on that beauty as well. So it is coming on rather lovely. And that, folks, is that. It's a wrap. We got through all of our projects. So check out all the folks that I have mentioned down in the description box. I would be super grateful if you do, because we are big on spreading the yarny love here at Manfa's Makes. Plus, you may find some patterns and people that really tickle your fancy and bring you... Oh, I just pulled out a stitch.
Oh, no.
Really tickle your fancy and give you even more wonderful content to watch and beautiful things to make. Because without those people, I wouldn't have anything to make because I'm not brave enough to come up with my own designs yet. So I rely on these beautiful people to do that for me, and I am so super grateful. So if I can get a few people to go over and check them out and maybe purchase a pattern, I am going to do just that. So yes, click on the links, check out my friends. Thank you so much for sticking with us for another over half an hour episode. But you know, there's lots that goes on in a week. You've got to fit a week into one video. So, you know. Please do come back tomorrow. I'm still not sure what the video is going to be, although fingers crossed it's going to be the second part of Yarny Fairy Godmother's Happy Mail. We'll see. And then come back later on in the day on Saturday for our live, because it is always a hoot. We love having party time with you. And that will be at 4 PM Eastern, straight after the gorgeous Granny D.
And it gives me time to sit here and crochet.
Exactly.
And you can see me doing it.
It's extra crochet time for Mike, because without that live, he wouldn't have that time.
And you can see me doing it. And then when you look at my projects, you won't be going, he didn't do that.
He did. He does it in real life, right in front of your face.
Yeah.
Right here, right now. So yes, come back for the live and have some fun. And don't forget that there is daily content here at Manfa's Makes. If there is anything in particular you would like me to cover, showcase or show, please let me know and I will do my very best. But until we see you tomorrow, guys.
Stay safe.
Be kind.
Look after one another.
Get some good quality time in. We love ones.
Get some good quality crafting time in.
We will see you in the next one.
Or around the YouTube streets.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love ya.